Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Andra Bastio. I'm from class R4I. My NPM is 2019-125-00934. In English consonant, there are 6 groups of sounds. First is English stop. The first is English stop. It sounds p. P is voiceless bilabial stop. The example of p is apple and cap. Next one is b, voiced bilabial stop. For the example is between and bed. Next is t, t, voiceless alveolar lead stop. For the example is take, helmet. Next one is d, voiced alveolar stop. For the example, this, reload. Next one is voiced velar stop. It sounds k, k. For the example, cook and cake. Next one is voiced velar stop. G, g. For the example is get, go. Number 2 is English fricative. Voiceless labiodental fricative. For the example is affair and full. Next is it called voiced labiodental fricative. For the example, save and view. Next one is it called voiceless dental fricative. For the example, teeth and thing. The next is z, z. It called voiced dental fricative. For the example, brother and there. The next one is s, s. It called voiceless alveolar fricative. For the example, sir and soon. The next one is z, z. It called voiced alveolar fricative. For the example is busy and zoo. The next one is s, s. It called voiceless palato alveolar fricative. For the example is action and sugar. The next one is sh, sh. It's called voiced palato alveolar fricative. For the example, change, casual. The next one is it called voiceless glottal fricative. For the example is itch, hot. The number 3 is fricative. It called voiceless palato alveolar fricative. For the example is gesture and choose. And the next one is j, j. It called voiced palato alveolar fricative. For the example, hedge and judge. And the number 4 is nasal. Voiced bilabial nasal. For the example is mom and moon. And the next one is an. It called voiced alveolar nasal. For the example is near and might. And the next one is ung. It called voiced alveolar nasal. For the example is working and think. And the number 5 is lateral. Voiced alveolar lateral. L, l. For the example is low and low. And the last is semi-vowel or approximants. The sounds are R, It called voiced palato-alveolar approximations. For the example is car and roses. And the next one is w. W. It called voiced bilabial approximations. For the example is walk and quiet.
Wow.
And the next one is j. J. It called voiced palato-alveolar approximations. For example is yellow. And in English vowels, there are three groups of sounds. The first is the front vowels. The sounds are E. It called front high and rounded tense vowel. For the example is B and believe. And the next one is E. It called front high and rounded lax vowel. For the example is which, in, and disc. And next one is A. A. It called from mid unrounded lax vowel. For the example is bay, excellent. And the next one is A. A. It called from low unrounded lax vowel. For the example is dead and cat. The number 2 is the central vowels. The sound is It called mid-central unrounded tense vowel. For the example is bird and research. The next one is It called mid-central unrounded lax vowel. For the example is around. And the next one is a. It called low central unrounded lax vowel. For the example is butter. The last is the back vowel. The sounds are u. It called right high back rounded lax vowel. For the example is cook and look. The next one is u. It called high back rounded tense vowel. For the example is do and you. And the next one is a. It called low back unrounded tense vowel. For the example is heard and part. And the next one is o. It called low back rounded lax vowel. For the example is forgot and aid. And the last is o. It called mid back rounded tense vowel. For the example is perform and or. So that's all, guys. Thank you for watching me, and I'm sorry if I had many mistakes about making this video. Once again, I'm sorry, and thank you for watching me. Goodbye.